Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to
Ranger Danger.
Go, go, Ranger Danger! Go, go, Ranger Danger! Go, go, Ranger Danger! Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger!
Welcome once again to Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger. Yeah, this is the podcast where everybody lets move. Vanilla is here with the new Jack Groove. We're going to rock and roll the place with the power of the Ninja Turtle bass.
I'm going to call you Vanilla from now on.
That's mean. For like two reasons. One of them is you're comparing me to Vanilla Ice. And the other one is you're saying my implication that I'm plain.
No, I really am just saying that you're incredibly pasty.
Okay.
That's
not
a
insulting
big
because
fucking
it's true.
call.
You can't argue. I mean, compared, I'm ethnic, so...
You are, I think.
You are barely ethnic.
I'm fully ethnic.
You are the kind of ethnic that doesn't go outside and hasn't earned their ethnicity. I say that
Own ethnicity?
absolutely.
I didn't realise that.
I don't think you get to be ethnic if you're not brown.
I mean, I am pretty white for an ethnic person. Like, when
Yeah,
I say
but, like-
when I say I'm ethnic, all I mean is that my grandparents are from another place. Like,
that is Mediterranean at best.
I
But
think it's inarguably Mediterranean.
considering how often Michael is inside, which is all of the time, he's surprisingly not that pasty. So...
Yeah, that's because, like, I've burned off most of the ethnic.
Alright, so this isn't actually what I just said. It's actually a podcast where we watch the TV show Power Rangers.
Yep.
And then afterwards we discuss what we've seen.
Yep.
Today we're going to be watching episode 117 of Power Rangers overall. Episode number 5 of season 3. Ninja Quest Part 2. That was a lot of numbers and I got them all. Boom.
Congratulations, you did your job correctly.
Thank you.
Well, that's a bad attitude, Michael.
He has that. from
Be a
time
bit
to
of
time.
supportive.
Ninja Quest Part 2.
Yeah.
This is, I hope it keeps up from last week, which was fucking mental.
Wasn't it just?
Really keen for NQP2.
Is that a robot from Star Wars?
Yeah.
Beep, beep, boop. And
Star
beep,
Wars,
beep.
in our time, Star Wars is this week for us.
Yes, but in your time, you've seen Star Wars like
11 times.
11 times.
God, I hope it's good.
Can I tell you something?
Depends what it is.
I met someone at a party last night.
Yep.
Who said that he was a VIP at the Opera House Star Wars event.
Yep.
And that he's seen 7 minutes of it.
I was invited to that.
He said it's original trilogy good.
Oh, yes.
So I'm trying not to let myself think that.
Yep.
Because I have to be prepared for Phantom Menace.
Yes.
And then be blown away rather than
The other way around.
the other way around. But, I mean, you guys know. So you're either going, oh, Michael and Matt, you have no idea what you're in for. Or you're going, I'm so sorry, Michael and Matt.
It's a real shame you
They're
thought.
wincing like we're heading for a car crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I used to work in the film industry. I've got an invite to that special event. And I was like, you know what? I don't even want to see 7-minute preview.
Yeah, no, that's
I wanna
fair. You
go
want to go
in
in
fresh.
in plain.
I've only seen the first trailer for the film, and that's it.
Yeah, I've seen the first 2 trailers.
I'm psyched. So psyched.
Yeah. So either I hope you guys enjoyed it, or we're so sorry.
Why would we be sorry?
I mean, I'll be sorry for everyone if it's bad.
Yeah, that's true.
In the
Okay.
kind of like, I'm sorry your nan died way.
Yeah, in like, I'm going to be sorry for everyone if Ninja Quest Part 2 is terrible as well.
Yeah.
Because,
Neither would be our fault.
I'll be
but-
sorriest for me, though.
yeah. All right, Matt, I've got an article to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
The headline is, in Japan, there's a superhero who plants rice.
No, it's a headline that says, in Japan, there's a superhero who, ellipsis, plants rice.
So, basically what this is,
Yep.
is he's like a mascot for the rice industry.
Awesome. Oh, I know
Industry
that.
or for a specific rice company?
Hold on. He protects Akita Prefecture, working in the rice paddies, to promote Akita. So I think it's like for a place that has a rice industry.
Right, okay.
There was a Last Week Tonight segment about how in Japan the hot new thing is for everything to have a mascot, and especially like local community areas have their own mascots that have a lot of money put into them because
Right.
apparently they're crazy successful.
I mean, looking at this guy, he looks like a Power Ranger.
100%.
Like, that's a costume as good as any of the ones we've seen on this show.
Yeah.
And this set of photos is just like...
It's delightful.
He's watering the rice. He's driving a truck with rice. There's a big black bear mascot thing for some reason.
He's one of the other area's mascots because I remember him specifically.
That's
from
local
the-
character Kumamon,
Yeah.
who is... I'm going to show Tim because
Yeah,
he's
thanks.
like...
Oh, gosh, I've seen him before for sure.
Yeah.
And
He's
so
very
this
popular.
is like the rice superhero, just
Doing rice
protecting
stuff.
rice and
I resent the fact
mowing the lawn.
that
He's not rice themed.
no, not at all. That like Western culture is so
uptight about this shit.
uptight about like why the fuck wouldn't you just have like super rice dude?
Isn't it weird that
Why-
there's...
why
I mean,
not indeed?
we've got like sports teams with mascots.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that there's not one that's a superhero? Like, there's so many that are like, oh, it's a crow. Like,
Yeah.
why
yeah.
are none of them like the Sydney Batman? I mean, I'm not saying we could have Batman, but like...
No, I'm with you.
and sometimes he's joined by his friend Niger Gion, who protects the town's trees and forests.
Well, that's amazing.
Who has like a similar costume but in green instead of red and yellow. And just these pictures of a dude in a superhero costume, like
Doing super mundane things.
doing all the rice farming jobs.
But like that's
Look, here's him holding an umbrella
At a bus
just
stop.
At a bus stop.
that's I feel like that's culturally significant almost. Like why wouldn't you hero the people in those roles? Like that's such an important role.
They are the real heroes.
And that we in a Western like culture would go, Japan's fucking weird for I don't know, like celebrating people doing important things.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, there is something a little weird about like the dude doing it in full costume because that must be hot. But I understand.
no, it's ventilated, bro. It's space age materials. Like that's not the issue here. It's a super suit.
I think, especially in the Western world, we've eased away from mascots sort of post-90s.
Yeah.
I do think we're swinging back, but I don't think we're ever going to swing back this hard, which is sad because this is awesome.
I mean, Matt, you work in the like branding industry.
Yeah.
Is there a client? Can you convince a client to come up with a Power Ranger style superhero as their mascot?
Certainly not outside of the realm of possibility. As I said, like, mascots in general are on the swing back. At the moment, that's more like digital characters that exist primarily on the web. But yeah, look, I don't think it's impossible for this to happen.
I just really want this 2.5 year long podcast to pay off for you somehow professionally. I'd like at some
Yeah,
point.
me too.
Shit.
I'd like at some point for you to be like, have you thought about like a Power Rangers like character? And they're like, do you know much about that? And you'd be like, buddy,
Boy, oh boy.
sit the fuck down. Have you got 150 hours? Because have I got a podcast for you? Oh boy. Okay, so that's, that was just something to share. It's cool.
New life goal for me then?
Wait, to become a rice superhero?
No.
Yes.
To
New life goal for Tim.
Yeah, fuck it, man. I got nothing better to do. Like, let's do it.
I can see you rocking this sort of job as well. Because you'd commit. Like, you have all people who just-
100%.
I think once you're in the suit,
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Can we, mentioning Tim committing to things, I feel like I have to tell this story.
I don't know what story this
One
is.
time, Tim...
Oh my god, I do.
Mum said to Tim, can you go get like something from the pantry?
How old was Tim at this point?
Oh, this was like in the last year and a half.
Okay.
This was
Yeah,
recently.
recently.
And I'm in another room, so I'm just hearing this discussion. And Mum says like, Tim, can you go get that from the pantry or another room? And Tim said, I can't, my legs don't work. And then, because he'd collapsed,
Straight up.
just committing to the bit of his legs not working.
And it was such a special time because there was like 3 people other than me witnessing the situation, all of whom had a very different reaction.
Because my reaction was excellent.
Yeah,
He's done the
That's
game.
the right
Well
reaction.
done.
Yeah.
But Mum was like, shit, are you okay? What's
Is-
happened?
What, like, was that you notifying me of a stroke and then falling? So it was like, no, I'm fine. I'm just a classic dude.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
So
when you told me
imagine,
about this, Michael, I was like, that's the best thing I ever
imagine
heard.
that kind of effort being brought to someone dressing as a superhero.
Honestly, if my question is it one dude? Like, is there a guy?
No, I think if it's a mascot, it's not like Steve from town decided that we needed a rice superhero. It's like the town decided we're going to get a rice superhero.
But he would be hired.
Yes.
Yeah, but I guess Michael's presenting the possibility that, like, it was a dude for the photo shoots, but then, like, the next time they need him, they'll get a different dude in.
It
Yeah,
might be the same dude.
I think it might be, because I know that acting in suits is actually not as easy as you would immediately
Yeah, well, it's a very, like, physically embodied kind of performance.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's just that one guy. And that's probably not what he does all of the time. But,
I mean, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, like, that specific character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man, because imagine that as a career, just being, like... Not even for, like, film and television, or maybe not primarily, so sometimes, but just, like... Kamen Rider suit acting,
Yeah.
just like
I
your
mean-
whole adult life.
There's people that, like, their job is to just be in suits. Like, there's people who work at Disneyland, for example, who, like, take on the characters of
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And even, like, on a more local level, like, I've been a character in a suit for a
Yeah,
job
you
for
were
a few days.
event boy.
I was event boy.
Were you? I have a question.
I've also been, like, another one.
What? How many different mascots have you been?
Just two, I think.
Who was the other one?
At the pools that I worked at when I was a swimming teacher, there was, like, Sandy... There was, like, a boy and a girl, and they were just kids that went to the beach, but they were giant, like, suits. And I was one of those.
Did that character have a bigger name? Because I can't find him on Google yet.
No. They were just the mascots of that pool.
Yeah,
so
what was
they
that?
weren't super... it was the Blacktown Leisure Centre Stanhope.
There's so much about you I don't know.
I mean, that's
I've
new.
lived a life.
I mean, not only have I known,
I've seen
not
some
only have I
shit.
known you for what must be nearly a decade now.
Yeah.
We've been doing this podcast for nearly 2.5 years,
Yes.
and this is the first I'm hearing of your job at Blacktown Leisure Centre Stanhope in a mascot costume.
I mean, I did it, I think, twice there. And they were suits that were just passed around because there was not a lot of respect for the art of...
Well, there doesn't seem to be photos of that mascot on the internet, which is the most disappointing thing
Can
to
you
have ever
put in-
happened to me.
Just Sandy at the end of that there. Live Google search on the podcast. You've got images, maybe?
No, it's alright. What I'll do is I'll cut it and I'll put some elevator music in.
Okay, fantastic.
Or I won't do that because I've forgotten. No, Matt, it doesn't.
That's what it's going to happen. But yeah, I did that. And that was one that was supposed to have a fan in the big head.
Oh boy.
But the fan was broken. So it was torturously hot.
And so, Matt, Event Boy is Event Cinema's mascot.
Yeah.
And there's
Not
also...
anymore though, right? That's not still...
I couldn't tell you, to be honest.
And there's also an Event Girl.
That's right.
Is it a full body costume?
Yeah, so it's basically just like a superhero costume from the neck down.
Yeah.
And then like a large oversized character
Okay,
head on
because
top.
the question I was going to ask is, could a boy be Event Girl? Like,
Yes, but if you were keen-eyed, you'd probably know the difference in body shape.
okay, fair enough. All right, so that's been possibly weirder than last episode's intro.
Which is a real banger of an intro.
We're definitely on a trend.
Yeah,
and
Like season 3, baby. Let's
I'm
do
interested to see if by part 4 we're just going to be like making noises into the microphone.
it. I mean, we will have been at it for a while.
All right, Ninja Quest Part 2.
Yeah,
I
let's
guess
do it.
they
P2.
might start questing for ninjas.
Okay,
I feel like certainly the quest will be presented to them.
I would hope so.
Then they'll refuse the call.
Or this is just them being really sad for a whole episode, like
I mean-
drinking scotch at the juice bar.
Wouldn't it be great if the next 2 episodes nothing happens,
Yeah.
and then the 4th part is like someone tells them about a ninja quest, they quest for a ninja, they meet a ninja, they get new powers, they come back, they beat Rita Revolt, and they do all of it in 22.
Yeah.
I
And
mean-
they're like, wow, we should have started that a little while ago.
It's weird that we wrote 2 episodes that was just everyone being sad.
It's introducing the 11-year-old kids to depression. They're like,
Yeah.
sometimes when really bad things happen, you need to take a while.
Yeah, you gotta have some me time.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
let's go see if that's what happens.
I mean, I hope not, because that's going to fucking drain me.
We'll be back in just a moment. And we're back. That was interesting.
I mean, that wasn't as good as the first part.
No.
It wasn't bad either, though.
No,
it
it
wasn't.
it kept the tension without like losing the steam entirely.
And if this is the only part of the 4-episode sequence that feels like this episode, I think it's going to be pretty good.
I mean, I have to assume next week they've got to meet Ninja.
Yeah, so Ninja is mentioned in this episode, but we don't see him.
No. So you have to assume that next week is meet Ninja, and they won't beat the monsters until the last week.
Yeah.
So there's 2 big story beats left to go.
To happen. So there's enough content in the narrative arc left for no time wasting episodes,
Yeah.
which is promising.
And this didn't feel too much like a time-wasting episode in the way that sometimes the second part does in these things. Like, they are in a substantially different place than they were when the episode started.
Yeah.
I mean, not very much happened, but it didn't feel like we were just pissing about.
All right, will we take it from the top?
Yep.
So we open basically exactly where we left off.
Yep.
With the Rangers watching the Megazords be destroyed.
Now they're sort of walking through
The wreckage.
Yeah.
And some of this is, there's like one shot where they've got a green screen background.
Yeah.
And that's not so great. But the rest of it is like practical giant robot wreckage.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Including
good.
one bit behind them that looks like the head of the Tigerzord.
Yep.
It really sells it as like, shit, that's the thing that happened.
Yeah.
And Tommy says, I actually think we lost our powers as well.
Which is probably the only bit of the scene that I didn't love. It was
Yeah.
a really, like, tell, don't show moment. Like,
Yeah.
they could have tried to morph and then had the morphers, like, short out
Fizzle
or something.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
look at their morphers and their morphers are burnt up and destroyed and like...
Yeah.
You go, oh, okay, we've lost our power.
Yeah. So it's, like, a nice continuation of the tension to remind everyone what the stakes are. And the audience sort of gets their perspective voiced by Adam, who's like, can't we just fix them like we do every other time?
Yeah.
Make them come back out of the lava? And Billy's like, no, I don't think that's going to happen this time.
I think it's quite serious.
And in fact, they can't even teleport because the command center is just totally out of power.
Yeah, I like that as a nice beat to sort of bring it home that everything's so fucked that they're going to have to just walk to the command center.
Yeah.
Like, it's a pretty dire
Which
situation.
is definitely the top of some kind of mountain.
Absolutely.
So they're celebrating on the moon.
Yep.
Now is the right time to be celebrating.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
still the Power Rangers aren't dead, but
Close enough.
this is a
It's pretty
successful
good,
move.
yeah.
Yeah.
Goldar says, like, if you'd given me 4 monsters to help me, I could have destroyed them too. I'm pretty sure that's happened.
Yeah, I think so.
And
It
I'm
didn't
pretty
happen.
sure they just kicked his ass.
Yeah. I think Goldar's quickly realizing he's about to be made redundant at this point.
I mean, I think my problem with that is the reason Goldar didn't win is because Goldar was doing it in regular episodes of the show.
Yes.
And the reason Rito Revolto won isn't like necessarily, he's not a better tactician necessarily. He's he's doing it in a better episode.
I think there's a case to be made that he's just more powerful.
Sure.
For example, the Tengas, who we'll get to at the moment,
Yeah.
seem to be just more powerful than putties.
Yeah.
In that you can't just...
Kick them in the chest and make them explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
if you're
certainly an
mood-
important weakness to lose.
The self-destruct button was a bad call from the
Especially
start.
because they didn't have it at all in the first season. It was a weird addition to those
Yeah, yeah.
monsters.
Like, it's cool in that rather than you punch the putties for a while and then they're not there anymore off camera, it gives you a way to defeat them.
Yeah.
But it also just makes the way to defeat them the easiest
Stupid,
way.
yeah.
Alright, so we're in the command center and everything is shot to shit. It's like all the bits are exploded and everything's destroyed.
Yep. It's looking rough.
The power core is broken.
Oh no, but that's the core of the power.
Yeah, well, it's broken. And Billy doesn't know how to repair it. Alpha thinks it could potentially take centuries.
And
We
the
don't
Kim's
have
like,
centuries.
we don't have centuries, which, yeah, thank you, Kim. We know that you're not immortal.
I think the interesting thing there is they'll probably fix it next week or the week after.
Yeah.
Like, Alpha, that's a terrible estimate.
In Kim's defense, though, like a robot and a head in the tube have got centuries,
That's
so it's
true.
probably a valuable reminder to go. We're 5 teenagers with attitude. We haven't got that amount of time.
Yeah, we're going to be not teenagers in a couple of years, so...
We might have lost our attitude.
They never had attitudes.
No,
Sometimes
we discuss this. They just have a good attitude.
sometimes they get given attitude magically, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
They just have a positive attitude towards life.
So they can't bring back the Zords.
Yes.
This is pitched as we can't bring back the Zords because we don't have enough power.
Yes.
Not the Zords are unfixable.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's a callback to in the past the Zords have gotten destroyed and it seemed like it was
Fixed.
no big deal to just reconfigure them and get them back together again. So I like that they sort of specified that.
It's just interesting to me given that, as far as I can tell, the next Zords aren't the dinosaurs get hit by lightning and turn into these ones. They're a new set of vehicles. Like,
don't know, though.
Why not repair them as well if they could do that? So someone, I think it's Rocky, but it may not be Rocky, says, well, where did our powers come from in the first place?
Yeah.
Big question, buddy. Like,
Yeah, maybe ask that like 2 years ago.
This is an interesting decision.
Yes.
So basically, there's a lost temple beneath the Center of Despair,
Yep.
guarded by someone called Ninja,
Yes.
and he forged the power coins.
Yep.
At least that's what the myth says.
Yes.
That may not be true. And then Alpha says, well, what about the map we found when we found the power coins? How do you feel about Zordon just having stumbled across the power coins?
I actually don't mind it because it means that Zordon is just an important figure in the Power Rangers mythos, but not the inventor of the idea of Power Rangers.
It certainly explains why he's so terrible sometimes.
yeah, so fucking behind everything.
If they're just like a thing he found in a box,
He's
and
still trying to figure it
he's
out.
still trying to investigate and figure out what he can do.
Which does kind of explain what he's doing with his time
Yeah,
Yeah.
as a head in the tube. Like, I've just got some books to read. I'm just got
On Power Coins.
trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and I think it makes it feel a little less weird that we go on to have a lot more Power Rangers after Zordon dies.
right.
Because it's not... They're not his thing.
It's not just Zordon's thing.
Yeah.
So why are they called Zords then?
They probably weren't before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, these cool new things. Michael ships. And everyone's like, alright, Michael. we get it.
We get it. So this map,
Yeah.
it's just a bit of paper with burnt edges and a big red X
That's
on it.
what maps are. That is all maps have
It's
ever
like
been.
if you said to a 6-year-old, draw a map,
Yep.
this is the map that they would draw.
What did you want? Google Street View? Like,
Yeah.
I wish it had felt like weird and different instead of like a pirate treasure map.
I like Pirate Treasure Maps.
No, I do too, but like if Ninja forged these power coins, like he's a weird being from somewhere else and it's
not
just...
necessarily his map, though.
Yeah.
Did a pirate have the power coins?
Yeah.
Because if so, why
Pirates have a
we,
lot of coins.
Why have we not seen pirate Power Rangers?
Well, we did. That's what Super Mega Force was supposed to be before they fucked it. It was Sky Pirates.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Skyrates.
And it was... They had, like, some of the coolest costumes of Power Rangers ever.
Yeah, and a flying pirate ship.
Yeah. Awesome across the board.
Yeah, they made a terrible TV show out of it.
It's so depressing.
We'll get there in 15 years. Alright, so Zordon doesn't really want them to go.
Yes.
He thinks it's too dangerous.
Because there's so much despair there.
I mean, it's called the Desert of Despair. It's not going to be a fun place.
No, probably not. I mean, you don't know. Greenland's the icy one and Iceland's the green one, so
It's true.
you just don't know.
If it's next door to the Desert of Happiness, I'd definitely just give him a check out first. Because maybe someone's fucking with you.
On Google Street View.
Or on a magical map.
I might have missed this from not paying attention.
Yeah.
But where is the Desert of Despair?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Not my fault. Alright.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, is it on Earth? Or is it not? No one seems to know.
Because it looks like it's probably in Colorado, but like...
Yeah, but that's also just this show.
yeah.
Yeah, it's never... It actually surprised me and I made a note. I was expecting like a colour filter.
Yes.
Or, given that we spent 3 episodes a couple of weeks ago just on a red planet that was everything was red all the time.
Yep.
It's
Just made
just...
this one blue.
Yeah, just something to make it feel like not the same desert that they're always doing desert fights in.
Yeah, and that's why it's a bit ambiguous. I think that it could just be a desert on Earth.
Yeah, they might be in the Sahara or something.
Yeah.
But
Or just in a desert in Colorado.
It definitely wasn't mentioned like
the desert
on
is
another
in
planet.
the dimension
Yeah.
of
Deserts.
magical rabbits.
Magical deserts. There's just this whole
The desert
dimension full of magical deserts. You sort of pick the one you need.
Yeah, some of them are good, some of them are lots of fun, some of them are...
Yeah, oh man, you haven't lived until
Well,
you've been to
Vegas-
Happy Fun Desert Land.
Vegas is in the desert dimension.
That's right.
It's
Vegas might be in a desert dimension. That might actually be true.
That would make a lot of
That
sense.
explains a lot. Yeah,
Now that we think about it, yeah. So
Does that mean that CSI is set in a different dimension?
that's
One of them is,
definitely
yeah.
true. I mean, CSI Miami is definitely set in a different dimension.
No, that's just set within a world where Republicans rule the world.
It's set in a world where David Caruso is like impressive, so that's definitely a different dimension.
I love CSI Miami because it's
the
like,
David dimension.
what if the scientists and the nerds who did like the evidence collecting also had guns and could just shoot people whenever they wanted?
My favorite is CSI New York. I like Gary Sinise.
Yeah, I wish New York didn't stop. That was the best one. Although they took a lot of the New Yorkiness out of it
Yes.
in the later seasons, but early on it was really cool.
Just it's good like when everything is filtered blue.
Yes.
Much like the desert dimension should have been.
Yep.
Good. Brought it back.
Like
Nice.
the Sinise dimension.
Maybe like the first few seasons are set in like a special dimension where
I don't like the idea that everything is in a different dimension.
But this is what Power Rangers is all about. I know. This is its whole
How many
deal.
caves have been a dimension?
One cave has been about 50 dimensions.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Zordon doesn't want them to go. It's too dangerous. They might die. I didn't really buy that.
No.
Like,
He's not committed to that.
here's the thing. He can't fix the problem.
No.
If they go and die, the other alternative is they go and fight Rito and die.
Yes.
So you might as well go to the one where you
give it a shot.
might
Yeah.
fix something, maybe.
And he doesn't even put up any meaningful resistance to the idea. He just
No.
says once, "Oh, don't do it," and then afterwards he's like, "But I'll help you out. You'll be fine."
Lord Zed will figure out what they're doing and try to stop them.
Like every other week, so...
So then, smash cut. Everyone's standing in a circle with their hands up, holding hands.
Like palms together.
Yeah, like a satanic ritual, except in the middle is one of those balls of electricity that you touch with your fingers, and the lightning touches the edges of
And
the ball.
Alfred is there, like, touching it.
Yep.
And that teleports them.
There's enough residual power, whatever.
Yep. That's fine.
So they land in a desert in the middle of California. And there's a weird, like, wailing noise.
Yeah, it doesn't ever really get explained, does it?
Not yet, certainly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't count it. I think that's like latent despair in the desert.
Yeah, residual despair.
Yeah.
The desert is actually despairing.
Oh, so it's not like it doesn't make you despair. It's just a really.
It
sad
doesn't
desert.
seem to. Like, there's a couple of traps, but they're not despair traps.
I mean, if you do not escape the trap, I imagine you would despair slightly more, and those around you would despair as well because they see you incinerated alive.
I've got a problem with those traps.
Well, let's get to those in a second.
Okay, cool.
Because now we're at Angel Grove Police Academy.
Yeah, new
Oh
set.
god, I forgot.
This was interesting. I think of Angel Grove as being a relatively small place.
Yes.
Even though, like, it's big enough to have an abandoned warehouse district.
Yep.
And, like, city and stuff. This felt like too big a place for Angel Grove.
It also feels like it only has one high school.
Yes.
You know, it's not like Sydney, which has hundreds.
Yeah.
It's got one. So how can it also have its own police academy?
I mean, I'm willing to buy, like, in Sydney, I think the police academy is down south somewhere. Like,
Goulburn.
Goulburn.
Yeah, okay.
So
the
this
one-
might
yeah,
be
that
a
was my
regional
understanding.
police academy.
Sure.
For not just Angel Grove's police, but police in the
It
surrounding
just
areas.
it is in a small town.
Yeah.
Or a smallish town even.
With some skyscrapers.
Yeah. So they go up... Bulk and Skull are there, because they're surprisingly following through.
Yeah, impressive commitment on their parts.
And they walk up to, like, a gatekeeper policeman, and they're like, right, which way to the sign-ups? And he's like, yeah, okay. He's not even really putting up resistance.
No.
He's just waiting for them to incriminate themselves, which I guess is something
I think-
he learned at the police academy.
I mean, yeah, it
That
seems
and
like
making hilarious sounds.
he's profiled them and is waiting for them to cause some trouble.
And then he'll shoot them.
Yeah.
He's a California policeman. That's how that
Yeah.
works.
He actually is doing a great job of his job.
Because Skull then says, we want to become junior police officers to get girls. And he doesn't even say, that's unacceptable. He says, you're going to need a better reason than that.
Yeah, he's actually saying, no, get your story straight before you
Yeah. Before you get to the office where you have to sign stuff.
Because Bulk then goes to, no, we want to protect the girls. And he's like, yeah, that's an acceptable reason.
He said...
No! They should want to protect everyone for a start. And even then, that feels like a dangerous reason to become a police officer.
Yes. That's
Like-
creepily specific.
Yeah, like, I want to protect everyone. Well, sometimes you're going to fail, and that can't...
How are you going to handle your job then?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
but it also sounds like, I want to protect girls exclusively.
Yeah, that's
a creeper
just
thing to
become a
say.
bouncer at a sleazy nightclub.
Yes.
Anyway, so they wander through and they discover lots of people exercising. And this is apparently the worst thing they've ever seen.
It is horrifying to
Like,
them.
it's shot with everyone exercising in sped up footage to make it look like they're exercising incredibly hard.
Yeah. And it's shot like a horror
Yeah.
reveal. It's pretty great.
Skull almost wants to run away, but Bulk, again, like, weirdly, he's like, no, I'm becoming a junior policeman.
And you're doing it with me.
Yeah, well, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, incredible commitment. It's almost disappointing that they didn't build up where this change from Bulk was coming from.
Yes.
He's just seemed to have developed a sense of commitment to things, which wasn't necessarily... Although last season, he did kind of stick to his guns about trying to uncover the Power Rangers' identity.
That's true.
But that never really required a whole bunch of work.
No.
So, yeah, I kind of wish this was a little more earned.
On the moon, the eggs start to hatch.
Ah.
And Rita and Lord Ed are like, hey, Rito, you've got to tell us what is in these eggs. And he's like, oh, I don't know, mate. That was like half an hour ago. I've killed the Power Rangers since then. You want me to remember what's in the eggs? And they say, right, you've got to the count of 10. 1, 2, 10. And he says, 10 Tengas. That's what's in the eggs.
Handy. Good thing they didn't give him till 5, because he would not have remembered.
If it weren't for the fact that everyone else goes, you brought us Tengas, I would imagine that he'd just made up the name.
Yes.
But everyone seems to accept these as a thing.
They are called Tengas.
Yep, everyone knows Tengas.
I have a weird question.
Yes.
In the movie,
Yes.
these were Tengu.
Yes.
In the show,
Yep.
they are Tenga.
Yep.
For no reason?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that's kind of the whole deal between the movie and the show, is that there's a whole lot of small differences that are different for the sake of being different. And that's kind of it.
So a Tengu is actually a Japanese, like, legendary creature.
Yep.
They're kind of dog-bird things.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is, like, I don't think that you would describe what we see in the show as being similar.
No, but now that you said that, I kind of can
There's
see
like, this is a Japanese illustration.
yeah, that's...
And there is
creepy.
like, there is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
similarity to the monsters that we've seen.
Yep.
Yeah, they're kind of interesting and cool. They're like evil demon spirit things.
Tengus or
Yeah,
Tenga?
well, the Japanese mythical creature Tengu.
Yes. Yes, those are cool.
Yeah.
The Tengas creep me out, and I don't like them, but I think in the right way. Like, I think because I hate birds.
Clearly.
Yeah, that's why you don't know any of their metaphors.
Yeah. I find them super...
You wouldn't say
creepy.
boo to a Tenga.
No.
Especially when two of them go walking. Because
No,
that's worth 2 in the bush.
Those are vowels.
That's worth 4 in the bush, even. You wouldn't want one of those birds in your hand.
I've definitely lost my point.
They creep you out because you're afraid of birds.
Oh,
you
yeah.
hate birds, in fact, is the word you said.
I hate birds. And they creep me out, and it kind of works for them, because they feel slightly menacing, because birds are creepy and shit.
They do. The putties are horrifying to look at.
Yeah.
And I'm disappointed they're gone, by the way. I hope we see them again occasionally.
But they also just kind of turkey around and
Yeah.
aren't that scary anymore.
Whereas these guys also kind of do that.
Yes.
But they just...
But I think because they speak, they're
They
more
speak
intelligent.
big,
Yes.
and their big wings make them physically large.
Yes.
It's a good look.
Yeah, and I think having speaking henchmen elevates them quite significantly.
Yes.
Because now that they have clear agendas and can actually threaten people verbally.
Yep.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, basically.
So they hatch,
Yep.
And then they learn to fly,
Yeah, very rapidly.
which is basically just 30 seconds of them jumping.
I mean, that's what birds do, though.
And then, like, a shitty CGI shot of them just being moved around the screen.
Yeah, well.
and then Rita saying they're flying around the palace because they definitely couldn't shoot that.
No way in hell. Alright, so they figured out that they're looking for the ninja powers.
Yes.
And Rito Revolto figures out that he had an extra egg.
I should just say that the guys on the moon seem to be the only one at this point clued into the fact that it's ninja powers specifically that they're looking for.
Yes.
The Rangers are just looking for a guy called Ninja,
Yes.
which certainly suggests ninjas, but, isn't explicitly the case.
Yes.
So it's weird that...
And there's no guarantee that he will be able to give them any kind of powers.
No.
Like, it wouldn't, given that he made the power coins, it would not be shocking if they got the dinosaur powers back.
Yep.
Like, it would be a weird decision for the show, I think.
Yes.
But it wouldn't be narratively strange for that to happen.
Because that's what he made.
Because that's
in the
what he
first
made,
place.
and he can bring them back, but he can't bring back the thunder powers.
Yeah.
But, yeah, these guys, the moon guys, I guess know more about Ninja.
Yeah, which is interesting.
I mean, it makes sense, too.
Rito's extra egg was not a Tenga, it was a vampirus monster. And Fizz is like, oh, vampirus, I don't like that. Which I like,
Yeah, because he's
Well, just-
kind of the classy one on the moon, right?
but also he's the monster guy.
It
Yeah.
fleshes
So-
out the world that, like, he goes, oh, I know about them. And, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, there's actually some decent world building in this episode. Like, all the people on the moon knowing about Tengas.
Yep.
It was like, oh, here's a new thing, that's interesting. It's like, oh yeah, no, we know Tengas.
Yeah, oh, cool, you
Holy
know
shit,
Tengas?
Tengas, yeah. So their plan is the Tengas will go to where the Rangers are,
Yep.
where the temple is.
Yep.
They'll plant the vampirus egg. That will hatch, and then the vampirus can
Fuck them up on the way
fuck
out.
them up on the way, and then take whatever power is in the temple for the bad guys. That's a good plan.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, doesn't
Solid
it?
plan.
And it's... Rita has, presumably, some experience in succeeding in stealing stuff from Ninja because she had a power coin.
I mean, I had imagined that she'd stolen it from, like, the pirate or whoever.
Right. So we had to cut the recording just for a minute there because there's someone playing drums, like, next door, apparently, which is not something I've experienced
It's
before.
never happened before to us.
If you hear some soft drumming, then just take that as some free musical accompaniment to the podcast.
Yeah, we decided we'd try something new.
Honestly, I don't think it would be that audible.
I'll try and cut it out as much as possible, but you might hear the occasional cymbal.
Yeah.
And if it punctuates a joke, excellent.
Yeah.
Winner.
Yeah. Alright, so Tenga's vampirus plant the thing.
Good plan.
So the Rangers are walking through the desert. Can we talk about Kim's outfit?
The fact that she's not wearing half of it?
It's a great outfit.
Sure.
It's a great outfit.
No overalls.
No, that's the good part.
Not enjoying it.
It's over very little. That's the good part about it. So the Rangers find a metal sphere.
Can I just say that, like, Tommy is also wearing a super tight shirt as well. Like,
Yeah,
they-
that doesn't do it for me though.
That's fine. That's okay. It probably does it for some other people.
I'm not sure about that, but no, there definitely be people.
100%. Yeah, it's interesting to me that they kind of went for that across the board.
Yep.
You know, like,
Equal opportunity.
yeah.
I can imagine Jason David Frank demanding that no one be allowed to look sexier than him.
100%. Absolutely.
No. I brought my tight shirt. They're like, but you're in the desert. You know how he's wearing a t-shirt and then the shirt?
Yeah.
The shirt is what they gave him, and he's like, this isn't sexy enough.
I'm unbuttoning your shirt. He wanted to wear the shirt unbuttoned just so you could see his abs.
And they're listening.
They're like, no, the censors actually won't let us. You have to at least
Tight
have a
shirt we can do, but that is it, man.
I'm imagining him pitching like a belly shirt that's like cut off, and it's like half a shirt, and they're like,
exactly Kim's outfit.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. He wanted to swap and have her in everything he was wearing.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
oh god. Okay, so
Can we talk about the traps in out of order?
do you want to talk about the second trap first?
I want to talk about the second trap first because it's a desert of despair, which says to me like the place is dangerous, not the place has been made dangerous by dangerous people.
Yes,
right?
sure. It's not that it's full of like nasty people. It's that the desert is somehow bad.
So when Aisha falls into magic quicksand,
Yeah.
that makes sense that in a magic desert,
Yeah.
that might happen, right?
Sure.
So that's fine. They rescue her by forming a human chain and whatever. Kim doesn't help if you notice. She just sits on the floor and
Yells at Aisha.
I thought briefly she was holding Tommy's leg.
Me too,
But
but
then
not the
there's
case.
another
There's
cut
another
where
shot,
she's just
yeah.
leaning towards Aisha and he's like, you should get Tommy's hand. That would be a good help.
Thanks, Kimberly. So that's fine. I'm with that. But
The first trap.
first trap is like a perfectly spherical
Metal glass,
metal,
something
like
reflective
shiny
thing.
glass orb, right? That's probably like softballish size.
That they stumble across.
And Kimberly goes, "Hey, look at this rock," and picks it up. And my assumption was, okay, well, this is going to lead to something. And then she goes, it's hot, and drops it. And then like a gasoline line of fire surrounds them, and the cave that they're backed into starts exploding.
Yeah.
It's like, someone put that there.
Yeah.
That's not a natural occurrence.
No, these are fire rocks that are part of the Desert of Despair.
To me,
Stupid.
the Desert of Despair wasn't always the Desert of Despair, and it was created to be protection for the temple.
Right.
Like, it has traps set around it that make it despairing, and the purpose of those traps is just to dissuade people from trying to come and steal the power.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is obviously, I think everybody is clear, this is the equivalent of the movie. This four-parter, right?
It's interesting how close it's tracking to the movie, not thematically, but in broad plot
Yes,
beats.
like the Rangers
absolutely,
lose.
yeah.
The Rangers lose their powers. They go on a quest to find their powers. I assume they're going to meet a magic bikini wizard at some point.
It tends to happen.
She was pretty good.
She was pretty good. But so how do these compare to the living dinosaurs and rock monsters that are the traps in the movie? They're not better traps.
The thing is, the quicksand one at least made them work as a team to overcome it.
Yes, the traps in the movie are just more things to punch.
Yes. So,
Which you get from like the movie's perspective.
Yes.
Like that makes sense to do for the movie.
The thing is, they're better, they're cooler things.
yes.
But they don't make everybody. They don't seem to be testing anything or trapping anything.
No.
They're just obstacles that exist.
Yes.
Whereas in this, they do feel like, okay, to get out of this, you can't just be one person looking for it.
Well, I mean, the fire trap was shit.
Yeah, because they do.
All they had to do was step over the gasoline trail. It was only there to ruin the map.
Arguably, you had to be brave enough to leap over fire.
They're fucking magic soldiers. Like,
No, but like not everyone who comes there would be necessarily, right?
Yeah, I know,
So
but,
it
like-
could potentially be testing bravery and teamwork thus far.
Sure.
I don't buy it.
I wish they'd managed to use the giant dinosaur.
Yes.
That dinosaur thing was pretty cool. Like, it's a terrible scene in the movie because it achieves nothing other than, that's 5 minutes gone.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
like, it's a cool dinosaur.
It's quite an achievement, actually.
So the map burns up, as you mentioned, Tim, when they jump through the fire.
Yeah.
And Billy, like, tries to go get it. And
They hold Billy back like they did to Kim, except much less enthusiastically than when they did it for Kimberly.
Well, I mean, there was a lot less danger, in fairness.
Yeah.
Okay, so someone says to him, well, without the map, what sort of rock formation are we looking for? And here's Billy's answer. From what I can recall of the map, we'll know it when we see it.
So, from what I recall of the map, we don't actually need a map.
Yeah, it's the big, scary looking rock.
From what I recall, looking at the map, you were also not looking at the map. So, some instructions beyond that would be helpful, Billy.
The rock that it is, I think, is the Star Trek rock,
Yes.
right? It's the rock in...
That's what I recognise it from.
Yeah, in Vasquez Rocks, that most famously is where Kirk fights the Gorn.
Even I know that rock. Like,
Yeah, it's... And
So, actually, maybe fair enough, you will know when you see it.
Yeah.
We saw it on Star Trek.
it's like, you know, when you say, you know that rock in Star Trek?
You know where Kirk fights the Gorn? It looks just like that.
And everyone else there is like, no, nerd.
I feel like Adam knows that rock.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But maybe would not admit to it so readily.
No.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what that means, shifty eyes, and then he's the one that finds it.
Yeah. Or quietly to Billy, he's like, yes, I do.
I think it's interesting that as far as I can tell, that's just a rock in a park in the desert in California.
Yep.
And it's just convenient to where all those shows shoot. And it looks kind of distinctive and alien.
Yep.
I'm impressed that it's taken this show so long to use that rock for something.
Yeah, it must have been a little out of the way.
Like, remember the Rock of Time that was just a stone in the middle of the ground?
Yes.
That could have been the Rock of Time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
Alright, so they're at the base of this rock.
Yep.
And they're looking around and they can't find where the temple is. And then they're attacked by Tenga.
Yes.
Tenga. I think Tenga works as the plural.
I
of
prefer
Tenga.
Tango.
Yeah. So they say, looks like Zed found us. I mean, that's a fair assumption.
Given that he's linked to every like monster occurrence.
Ever.
But also, what if they're just like vultures in the desert of despair?
That's certainly possible as well. They could be part of the...
Well, yeah, but then don't they go like, no, we're gonna fuck you up, as we were talking about?
Oh, actually, no. They say, looks like Zed found us, and then the Tenga say, looks like you're right. So they sort of immediately confirm it.
Fair
for you.
enough. I think Aisha tells one to fuck off. She might say, like, back off or
It
push
definitely
off.
sounded like
It
fuck
definitely, like, the
I missed that.
audio
That's great.
is
off.
muffled
I'm sure
enough.
it's back off, but
Yeah, the audio is just muffled enough that I had a brief moment of, she did not just tell one to fuck off, did she?
God, I hope she did, and they didn't catch it.
Can you imagine?
it goes through the edit, yeah.
And then, like, by the time someone notices, it's too late, and they're like, right, just push the audio down for half a second.
Yeah, crunch it, it's fine.
So they fight the Tengas, and they are struggling with the Tengas.
Yes. Yeah, they're getting pretty comprehensively beaten up.
Yeah, don't they know they can just be pushed through a grate? Or was that... No, that was the ooze monsters. That was a different monster. Anyway, so they
I
end
mean,
up...
I guess you could push a Tenga through a grate as well.
If you push really hard.
Yeah, it's just a different like amount of
Isn't that
pushing.
how they make chicken nuggets?
Oh, God. Oh, no.
mechanically separated?
Oh.
So the Rangers end up backed into a corner.
Yep.
Well, it's not really a corner.
It's shot to look like a corner.
Yeah, and then we get the camera angle in the reverse, and it's very clear that you can just step over a small rock, and there's a passage there.
Pretty spacious.
Yes.
And what we're told is that it's too small for the Tengas to get through. That's not what we're looking at.
No, they could easily walk through
If they
that.
just didn't hold their arms the widest possible all the time, if they just put them by their sides for a second.
I like to think that they're just too dumb to bring their arms in to get through the thing.
So they go backwards, and then they end up at another dead end.
Yep.
But they're safe at least for a bit. And then Adam kind of leans on a rock, and a
Classic.
boulder rolls out of the way. And then cartoon ghosts come out.
Yeah.
Gosh, so
And that's
good.
a nothing thing?
Yeah. No one really reacts to it.
I
This cut-
shat myself laughing.
Like, what a weird decision.
Yeah. Because I don't know if the Rangers are supposed to not notice them, or if they just brush it off like flies.
Like, yeah, of course there's cartoon ghosts
didn't
here.
even
That's the
react.
least weird thing I've encountered today.
Yeah.
So they're inside the cave now.
Yep.
And
Lots of fog.
it looks like a different cave to our usual cave.
Yeah.
Same fog though.
So back outside, the Tengas plant the vampirus egg.
Yep.
I mean, I say plant. They really just, like,
Put it in the sand.
put...
I mean, it's not a seed, so it doesn't need to be buried.
No, I guess.
Yeah, it is
Like it
as
is an
in
egg.
the sand as an egg would be.
Yeah.
So inside the cave again, Billy's like, okay, let's look for some light filtering through that indicates an opening. There is a lot of light in the cave.
Yeah, for a cave, it's pretty bright.
Yeah, it's very well lit because it's a television series and you need to see what's happening.
Yeah. And Tommy's pretty pissed off. Like, he feels unreasonably pissed off.
Well, they get to a dead end within the cave.
Sure.
And I think at this point he's like, we've come through so much. And he's kind of had a bad day, if you recall.
Sure.
Like, he used to be best friends with a giant tiger until its head fell off.
That's true,
Like
actually.
8 hours ago.
Compared to everyone else, his has probably been a little worse.
Yes. So I buy him having a moment of frustration enough to hit a rock.
So he turns around and, like,
Goes
walks
to punch
towards
a
a
wall.
wall.
Yep.
And then walks through the wall.
Yes.
And everyone is like, okay. Now I have a question.
Yep.
I assume, as you said, that he was going to go punch the wall. But what we see is he just walks through the wall.
Yeah.
Does that mean if that had been a real wall, he'd just have walked into it?
I read it as the point of disappearance is a few feet out from the wall. And he was going to punch it, but before he got to the wall, he was
Okay.
teleported.
Might have to accept that.
But I know that sounds like post-rationalization, but just from the way it was shot...
It makes
that
more
way.
sense than him walking into a wall.
Yeah, like he's, I'm so angry.
That would have been a great comedy beat, though.
So everyone else is like, I guess we got to go in after him, wherever he just went.
Because they're assuming it's some sort of teleporter, not just a disintegration field.
That's true. Oh god, imagine if Tommy was just dead, and then they
And
all
they
were
all just
dead.
followed him in, and that was it. They're like, Desert of Despair, motherfucker.
So this is basically where the episode ends, but before the guys walk through the portal, they throw a rock through. I really hope the next episode opens with Tommy on the ground bleeding from the head.
No, not that bad, even just,
Yeah.
And then everyone else joins him.
Yeah.
And he's like,
are you okay? They're like, a rock hit me in the back of the head.
Like,
where are these rocks coming from?
And then like, Aisha is like, I guess it's that Desert of Despair.
Yeah. What a despairing
Be
rock.
careful of other rocks that people might throw without figuring out what's going on. So that's where the episode ends, and then the credits are just the Tenkers learning to fly.
Well, no, they're just
No.
hanging out.
Well, no, it's the learning to fly sequence.
Is it? I thought it was just from the desert.
No, it's the same like
you
shot.
sure?
Yeah, it's the same grey tinted moon
Right.
set.
No,
It's
and
just
they're not really learning to fly, they're just jumping up and down.
jumping around on like
But then,
falling
like,
on the
one of
ground.
them trips
and-
on a crack, which I really enjoy. It's just like he's lying there.
Yeah,
I'm
he
a
doesn't
big
get up
fan.
immediately.
Like, maybe it's the, 8-year-old in me, but I'm enjoying these
I mean,
credit sequences.
I think my problem is these episodes would be actually doing a great job at ending on,
A tense
oh
note.
god, what's going to happen next?
And this takes a double
And
over.
then twice now, it's been like,
It's like when you're watching West Wing,
yeah,
and sometimes there's really dramatic episodes, particularly in the first season, that end, and then the end credit music is really upbeat.
is that upbeat? Yeah, West Wing credit music.
And they figured out after a while where they just had two versions where they have the upbeat one, but then there's like the somber end credits music.
Yeah.
But before that, because it's so upbeat, it really threw the
It's
tone
like
of the show.
the president's just been shot. Da-la-la. And it's, oh, okay, you're very excited about the president.
Yeah, you
having
don't
been
mind at
shot.
all.
Yeah. This was a good episode, I think.
Yeah.
It's like very little happens.
Well, we
But-
say that, but they've figured out what their new power, like where they're going to get new power from.
Sure.
They've identified like where they have to go. They've gone there. They've gone through some trials. They've met the new like henchmen of the series.
Yeah, I guess.
And Bulk and Skull have taken big strides towards their major new plot. So
I think it's like, it's not the episode you'd pick to show someone.
no,
But it's an episode that does all of the things that this particular part of this needs to achieve to get us to the right place for the next one.
yeah.
Would you call this an Adam? Like a soft Adam? As opposed to last week's hard Adam, which obviously we
A
would all
rock hard
prefer.
Adam. Yeah. I would say a soft Adam.
Okay. We're still not rating any of those monsters yet?
I don't think so.
I think it's too... Let's
keep
wait
waiting.
till part 4,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Alright. Is there anything else?
I think that's it. I'm
Okay.
excited to see
To keep
Ninja.
moving.
I mean,
finally.
it's got to be Ninja next week, right?
Honestly, I'm surprised about how I'm feeling halfway through.
Yeah, it's like
Because,
pretty good, right?
I remember Green with Evil.
Okay, I've got a question before we get to the next part. Matt, you know and love Ninja.
Yes.
I'm aware of Ninja. Do you have any idea what
Nothing at all.
Ninja is?
Nah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Because let's talk about that next week.
Cool.
We'll see you guys then.
See you guys.